It's a good one though, I think.
Share screen. Share. All right, press play. There we go. Wait. All right. Thanks for joining us today, everyone. Today, June 3rd, 2025, depending upon when you're watching this.
Yeah.
So, it's fresh. I like to put that in there because sometimes I go and, watch a video from somewhere from something and says, is this reposted? When did they really make this one? You know?
Yeah.
But today, our topic is how educating your clients provides a smoother transaction, which is very important because you don't want them to ask too many questions. You should be educating them, be proactive in
Yeah.
educating your clients on what's going to be happening, what's happening, so they feel that they don't have to ask. I hate when people ask a question that means I didn't try to answer it before they even ask the question. But we'll jump right into it. Go ahead, Deb.
Um, so educating them on how the transaction is supposed to flow. And a lot of times it's very easy, it's a lot easier to do this with sellers. But when you're dealing with buyers and especially first timers, they're very scared because they don't understand everything that's happening. They may think they do because they watch stuff on social media or YouTube, and then they actually get into it and like, holy crow, what are you talking about? So if you actually use something like this kind of diagram or a different kind of diagram, or the buyer's guide that's in Moxie Present for people that work at Century 21 Homestar, you have a step by step already to help you talk to your buyers about what the whole transaction is about. And that's why it's important to do your buyer consultation, right? So that you can sit down with them when there's no stress of, oh my God, I get this offer in a half hour and we haven't even talked about what these documents are yet. Go through that stuff. Hey, I
Yeah.
just want to meet with you at Starbucks. We can talk about the process a little bit. So go over these documents so that we actually, when we get into the nitty of it, that we're not stressed out because we don't know what this means or what that means. And we've had those conversations already. So when you're working with buyers, I feel it's really important for you to at least show them the flow and talk a little bit about the flow of how it's going to go. Do you agree?
Exactly. And you have to, my opinion is you have to have some type of this flyer like this, and we have many like these. And Deb, you could reach out to Deb to get this, but it's visual. I'm a visual person. I need to look at it. I write notes. I remind myself the smallest little things. Some people are visual. So verbally, if you tell them, well, this is going to be the next step and this next step, it's good to have something to give them, either email them or hand them something like a flow chart type thing to show the steps, because sometimes people can't visualize it no matter, depending upon, and you might be that type of person too.
Yeah,
I
I
need
like these
I
too.
like
Yep.
visual to see it. And then it reminds me what to tell them, because I know that even 30 years in real estate, if someone says, okay, what are all the steps? Without me seeing it, I could go through in my head, but I know there's going to be two or three or four that I didn't think of because might not normally happen, or it's just something such small detail that this usually happens that it just skipped over, didn't even say it because it always automatically happens. So you'll see that a lot in this chart there.
Yeah, that's a good point because sometimes we do just take it for granted because we know it's going to happen and we forget to mention it. So, this one is a little graph for you guys about the 100 days effect. So, what actually happens, right? So, the average length of time a listing is active is for 60 days. It takes time to make a buyer or to help a buyer find a home, and that could take up to 50 days. And then it could take 50 days for it to close. So 60 days could be your whole timeline, or it could actually reach to 100 days. These days, a lot of people say, well, what do you mean I got to sign my seller up for 6 months, or I got to have a buyer sign the agency agreement for 6 months? It takes a while to get through this stuff. You might have your transaction fall through. So if you have something like this to remind you, you can also remind your clients of it takes a little time to do this kind of thing. So, and this one I
Exactly.
got from NAR. So you can find a lot of fun things from them as well. This is my favorite thing. I put this together. Don't be a secret agent.
Right.
We have an agent that calls himself the secret agent all the time because you only hear from him if he has a problem, right? But
Right.
what I mean as a secret agent is you learn a lot of things through your continuing ed and just all kinds of different sources. For instance, you have Tony that does his videos and me, and then you have Mike if you're watching his videos. You're getting a wealth of information if you are watching all this stuff and if you're doing these things, right? That you should always be learning because real estate is one of those things that you're never going to know everything today. You just won't. Every single day, something changes in our industry, right? So when you're learning it, absorb it, and you can share part of that information to your clients. So if you're sharing to your clients information, in my example here is the historic 30-year mortgage rate chart. This is one of my favorite things to tell you guys and to everyone because, oh my God, the interest rates are so high. We need to wait until they're lower. Nuh-uh, not if you look at the average. We are right on target. So make sure you're telling the public we are right on target with where our rates need to be. You need to do it now. You don't want to let it go up really high or really low because we're not going to get those twos and threes anymore. But don't over
Exactly.
explain to yourself, just to your people, just share things, right?
Right. Exactly.
And I think I made it that, yeah, I did add that onto this next one. So make it a conversation, but don't like talk for 10 minutes straight about why the interest rates are what they are. Because if you start going on and on about things that they don't understand, it's going to go right over their head. So just make it short and sweet. If they ask a question, then you can answer the question about the thing, right? Uh,
Exactly.
Always be ready to talk numbers. Look for trends in your market that you can talk to people about in the conversations, like how many average home price increase from blah 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 from last month. There were so many homes on the market, and then now of them they're already pending. Where are you going to find this stuff? You guys use your MLS. It is a wealth of information there. And if you haven't clicked on Realist lately, make sure that you do because Realist will tell you the temperature of the market on the right hand side and what's going on per county. You don't have to dig through a lot of
Right.
things to find this information. It's right in front of your face. You just got to use it. Okay. And then
Exactly.
follow up with people and keep the conversation going, especially if it's a new contact. You want to make sure that you're following up with them. What did you do with that lead? Oh, I called them. They didn't answer. They're no good. Maybe they can't answer the phone at that particular time, try again later. Try a different avenue. Maybe they like text messages better because they can't answer their phone. Maybe they like emails. Ask them what their
Right.
preferred method is, right? They'll tell you.
Exactly.
This one is in order to actually be able to talk to your clients about certain things, sometimes we have to take more classes, right? And if you're trying to develop a niche of some sort, then you want to take classes to go along with those. This one, the real estate investing REI, is something new that I found. This is a course that you can take about real estate investing. So many people are investing in Ohio right now. I feel that we all should be a little proficient in that area, just so if you do get that call, you know what they're talking about, right? You can get some classes too from Hondros or even the CE Shop or Training Cove on investing and stuff like that too. But this is like a whole course that will give you a certification at the end. Same with the military relocation professional. That hooks you up with veterans. So they also, once you do this class and you pay their designation fee, you will also get put on like vendor lists and things like that. So we get some from a specific vendor now because we have several people who went and got this military designation, so they get leads from them.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for leads, develop your real estate designation and you should get leads from those sources. Okay. The certified new home specialist and the residential modeling specialist are two classes that are featured on Century 21 website. So they have a whole section. There's certified new home specialist, there's residential remodeling specialist, there is a new construction one, there's four major ones in this section that I'm talking about, and you could buy the whole kit and caboodle for like $2,500 or $3,000, or you could buy each individual class $149, $200, things like that. So this is all on Century 21's website. If you can't find it, just let me know and I can show you where it's at. I have had two of our agents that I know took the whole entire thing and they said it was phenomenal. So the classes are good. If you can't afford to take them all at once, just take one at a time. And then if this is what your niche wants to be, working with new homes or working with remodeled ones, you'll have more information and education so that you can clearly educate your clients, which is the whole point, right? You got to know what you're
Yep.
talking about in order for them to believe you.
Right. And they're right on Century 21 in our 21 online and Century 21 University. Just
Yep.
go take a look.
Yep. Yep. Um, the more that you talk to your clients about things, and remember, don't go into long explanations about things because it'll go over their head. They won't even know what you're talking about. But answer their questions, be proactive with things that are going on in the market or different stuff like that. Don't be afraid to talk to people because that shows your value. My agent was so great just because they spoke to me, they talked to me, they treated me like a person. You'll hear that more and more, right?
Yep. I know.
This
Unfortunately, our festivals were a month late because we missed one a month ago.
Oh, yeah, but
But the
this is just
website's there to find more festivals for June.
yeah, they go all through the whole summer. I just grabbed March or
Yeah.
May because of whatever. This is a great social media post because you can also ask people to comment on their favorite festivals and what they like to do. And so you're starting a conversation and creating interaction on your website, right?
Yep.
Or on your Facebook page even,
No,
so
it just like you just said, it gets people talking, and the more comments you have and likes you have and interactions you have with people, the more the posts pop up and stay up there.
yes, they do pop up and stay up there. And also, that's another way to get leads. So many times, that's what we hear all day long is, where am I going to get leads? Where am I going to get leads? So we try to give you different avenues that don't cost money, right? Uh,
Exactly.
and that you're trying to actually talk to people and create relationships because that's really a lead, right?
Right.
Getting things and paying for things from the internet is inquiries, right? So
Right.
they might
That's
not
it.
pan out. They might not even know how you got their name and why you're calling them.
Right.
So,
Right. And always CE.
CE, we got self-employed with Hash. Then we have Mike doing the Rockstar Agent by doing these things. I love that class. I took that class years
Yes.
ago and it's great. He gives you a lot of good tidbits in there. Hash is also talking about solid pre-approvals in July. And then I did find the thing for John Dewey doing his civil rights and fair housing. You can sign up at that Ohio home thing. So
Right.
also another tidbit I found out when I was trying to find that thing for John Dewey was he has a lot of self-paced things
Hmm.
on the ohiohome.org where you can go and learn all kinds of stuff and you don't have to wait for him to teach it to you. He's got a lot of videos and stuff on there about heroes and about next home programs and first time home buyers and stuff. So it's a great website to go to learn a lot more things about different avenues for your clients and stuff. And then we have civil rights with Hesh in August, and that is all I have on our personal list right now
Right.
for
So
those.
so the last two there, civil rights, everybody needs those.
Yep. Yeah,
So
they're both doing civil rights. Uh,
right. So
we had law earlier this year, and then I don't know, ethics will be coming around again because everybody does ethics too. So,
that's right. Well, thanks for joining us today, everyone. Remember, reach out to Deb or myself. Again, go on our calendars It's talk the number two Tony.net or talk the number two Deb.net. And again, if you need us right away, of course, call office or text the office line or me directly. Those are for those 5 minute, 10 minute, most quick things. But if you want to discuss something, that's when you go to the calendar and
Yep.
book the time. So we spend the time and we prepare. So we
Yeah.
we can prepare for what you need. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, everybody, and hope to talk to many of you soon. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.